So the other day I was walking down to my local convenience store and I was wondering why everything was just so bloody expensive. And these are food products we are talking about. Until I remembered the wise words of Canadian multi-millionaire Kevin O'Leary, who loves to LARP as an American, saying this.
Can't stand it when I see kids that are making 70 grand a year spending $28 for lunch. I mean, that's just stupid. It's just, think about that in the context of that being put into an index and making 8 to 10% a year for the next 50 years.
I have never thought about it that way. Thanks, Kevin. Why do we young people spend so much on food? I mean, we need to be economical and fiscally responsible, but we do need food to survive and work for our multi-millionaire overlords so they can buy their third new mansion this month. You know what any logical person would say this after hearing that? We would ask, why the fuck are restaurants charging us $28 for a lunch? Listen, I know Kevin is a capitalist reptilian robot. He does not need food to survive like the common man. We kind of need food to survive so that we can work our asses off for these people. So if you need some reminder, Kevin O'Leary, he's a Canadian who loves to meddle in American politics just like me. But unlike me, he is actively building the world's biggest data center in the state of Utah, which will decrease every possible metric of quality of life in that area for the community. So, what will the data center do? This will, first off, put enormous demand on the power grid and raise the local energy prices for the community. The generators will lead to air pollution, and it will nuke the environment. No, really. A physics professor from the state of Utah published an analysis of the data center's potential impact on the environment and found that it will have a thermal load of 16 gigawatts. If you don't have a physics degree just like me, then all you need to know is that this is about 23 atomic bombs dropped into the local environment every single day. Yeah, it doesn't really look good, does it? Wait, but hold on. The data center will create plenty of jobs, a lot of good jobs. That's what Kevin O'Leary would want me to say. First of all, these are mainly construction jobs. These are temporary. They will go away once the data centers are built. They will toss these workers out once they get that data center up and running. And who really benefits from these data centers? Is it Kevin O'Leary really doing this out of the goodness from his heart? Does a Canadian multimillionaire residing in America with a net worth of $400 million really care about construction workers in Utah? I'll tell you what, there's something that he does care about. It's China. Kevin O'Leary is obsessed with China. He thinks about China every single waking moment in his life. He thinks about China when he's lecturing young Americans about how much money they spend on their food. And he thinks about China when he's building his lovely data center in Utah.
Happening. My only concern is China. They're the ones. I would be very concerned if I were living in Taiwan that one day my electricity just goes out and I get invaded by basically robotics and high precision ordnance. And that's what China wants, and they want to get there first. Now, if we don't get there first, if we don't develop something better than their AI, and our ability to be predictive on where these conflicts are going to happen, I think we'll be in a bad place in 20 years. And so
this is Kevin O'Leary in an interview with Tucker Carlson. And he goes on about how China is the intrinsic American enemy. And somehow Tucker Carlson seems to be the beacon of sanity in this. I never thought I would side with Tucker Carlson on an interview, but here I am.
Would you prefer? I'm giving you one of two options with the uncertainty of both, okay? But I want you to pick one. This will tell me a lot about how you think. Would you prefer, in the next 5 years, that China have more compute power than we do, even though the use and the outcome and jobs and everything else we're talking about is unknown? Or would you prefer the United States of America and their allies in North America had more compute power to develop AI?
It depends.
New science opportunities, new exploration into space, new manufacturing for robotics, for defense as well. Wars in the future probably aren't going to be fought with people getting shot in the flesh. It'll be one set of robots against another. I think the drone technology will advance, the manufacturing of surveillance, all that stuff against our enemies, which notably is basically China. So if you think about how
Kevin's main point is that America is falling behind China in several key industries, and the only way America can bounce back and restore the glory days is by going all in building data centers and AI.
Why? Because their customers want that.
But wait a second. China leads the United States in battery, wind, and solar in development of those technologies.
Yeah, that's such a great. It's a great story, but not in data centers. They don't. They're powering.
No, but hold on, jumping around a little bit. I'm just trying to ask. Okay, so you say you want to preserve the American way of life. That's why you're.
You know what I find very funny about this talking point? China has been doing a lot of work in its renewable energy, way more than America. It has surpassed America in most renewable energy. But Kevin O'Leary does not seem too interested in building renewable energy centers to compete with China. He doesn't seem very interested in renewable energy in general, as if you don't need any more additional indicator that he does not absolutely care about the environment that he's going to destroy by building this giant data center. Hey there, if you're liking what you are seeing so far, then please consider like and subscribing, as it really helps out the channel. Thank you.
You know, Tucker, I'll speak for myself on this. I'm not motivated by money anymore. That is not why I get up and work 18 hours a day. I want to build something incredible. I want my legacy for my children to be something that they're honored by.
Right.
I want to compete against the Chinese. I don't like the Chinese government, in case anybody has noticed that over the last 5 years. I don't like how they treat their people. I don't like how they treat me in business. I simply don't like them.
Kevin, if you're watching this, please go back to being wet for your watch collection. This guy is a watch expert and a collector. And trust me when I say this, more rich people need to get bullshit hobbies like watch collecting. Kevin O'Leary got bored of his watch collection and now actively wants to destroy the world.
We're going double wristed. Why am I doing that? Because of the confusion in time zones. This is New York, this is LA. And people say, well, why don't you just subtract 3 hours? What? Why do that when you could put 2 watches on? What are you kidding? Oh, look, LA, it's 4:45. Oh, New York, it's 4:45. Oh, what a great idea. Plus you're showcasing your pieces. That's fantastic. That's the whole idea. So
I'm not motivated by money anymore. I'm not motivated by money anymore.
Kevin is not a big fan of working people either. He does not give a shit about working Americans or working class. While some workers believe that they have every right to slam their laptop shut at 5 p.m. every day, Kevin O'Leary is staunchly against it. The Shark Tank star and chairman of O'Leary Ventures is so against it. In fact, he would be happy for employees who believe in work-life balance to work somewhere else. People that shut down their laptop at 5 want that balance in life, only to go to the soccer game 9 to 5 only. They don't work for me. I can tell you that. I hope they work for my competitors. Kevin O'Leary, who is worth an estimated $400 million American dollars, said workers who define their roles by rigid job description and hours are only setting themselves up to fail. This man is actively working hard to become the most unlikable man on the world right now. And you have to give him that. So, the data center. Seems like it's going to be built and you cannot do anything about it. I can't do anything about it, you can't do anything about it. If you do voice your opposition, then you will be called a Chinese or a CCP-funded shill. I am surprised that this thing is even happening in the first place. I mean, who approved this obviously very, very unpopular project? The politicians? The administrators? I mean, this is so unpopular. How did this even happen? People should be enraged that this even got approved by certain individuals and politicians who, by now, fully kneel before the technocrats and the rich over the common American working family. That is all for today. If you made it this far, like and subscribe to help out the channel, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.
China, 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 China.